on Kick, Rumble, and YouTube. Probably not Twitch after long.
And now,
How we doing, fellow Cannabisians? Now, I was always told that cannabis was a big part of the illegal drug market and that legalizing cannabis would lower crime. It's been 2 years since cannabis has been legal in Maryland, and I want to see has anything really changed. Are any of the stats quantifiable? Do they notice any lowering of crime? Or is it just the same old, same old? I've got a video from local ABC News, Channel 2. Let's check it out.
When marijuana became legal in Maryland in 2023, theoretically, Baltimore police officers should have been able to dedicate more time to tackling violent crime.
That's
and
what I
this
think.
past year, we did see another historic reduction in homicides and shootings. But did the legalization of marijuana actually contribute to that? Whenever there's a debate surrounding the legalization of marijuana, one of the biggest arguments, both for and against it, is that it will impact crime rates.
Now, that's what I was just stating. And I'm very curious to hear the results from Baltimore, major city, high crime rate. Cannabis is definitely involved in those stats.
Either for better or for worse. Advocates for legal pot say it helps free up police resources, limits crimes related to the illegal drug market, and reduces alcohol use, which is more heavily linked to violence. But studies, mostly focused on early adopters like Oregon or Colorado, show mixed results. And on the ground here in Baltimore, Police Commissioner Richard Worley says,
okay. Straight from the horse's mouth. I can't wait to hear this. Read them in wheat, baby.
I don't think it's really had an effect on violence because almost every day that we talk about incidents, it's still over marijuana sales.
Damn. Wah, 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 wah.
Maryland legalized weed in July of 2023. In both 2023 and 2024, Baltimore saw a double-digit drop in murders and a 7% drop in shootings in 2023 and a 34% drop in 2024.
So that's good then.
But marijuana is still at the center of some of those shootings, Worley says.
We had a shooting last week. The individual had 3 or 4 pounds of marijuana in his car. It was probably a meetup that went wrong. So marijuana, illegal sales and distribution of marijuana is still a problem.
Well, I think you're always going to have problems with any kind of sale, realistically, especially street. If that was cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, Molly, X, acid. Yeah, I don't think you're going to avoid that. As long as you're dealing with something that is, I guess, black market, there's always the risk of that.
You are serious about legalizing cannabis or any other drug in a way that is going to have a reduction in crime, you really have to make sure that those that were selling drugs on the illicit market have an opportunity to enter the legal market.
That is a good point she's making there. If you want us to stop doing it illegally, you got to give us a way in legally. I think that's a fair argument.
Can't make money, then they're just going to continue to do what they know how to do.
Veronica Wright, founder of the Maryland-based National Coalition for Drug Legalization, recently did a study with help from public health researchers at Johns Hopkins. Examining data from 2012 to 2019, they found that areas where drug enforcement was highly concentrated later saw higher rates of violent crime. She says legalizing only marijuana won't do enough to lower crime. Sellers in the illicit market will just move on to other drugs.
Okay, so this is just a whole economic chain, and I guess cannabis is one of the stats that lead into just overall there are fewer opportunities. This is just one of them that's probably not going away anytime soon.
You really have to look at how you're going to legalize and regulate the other drugs if you want to see a significant reduction in crime and overdoses. People die of overdoses because they don't know what's in their drugs.
But we're talking about cannabis.
One thing most researchers will agree on, though, is that we need more years' worth of data in order to draw any conclusions about whether legalizing marijuana actually reduces violent crime. In Baltimore, Elizabeth Worthington, WMAR 2.
Thank you. So, just as I thought it would be no impact they were just selling you snake oil when they were like, oh yeah, you know, you legalize it, that's going to reduce crime big time. Well, I think from listening to that lady's point, that if you don't give these illegal people a way into the legal system, you're not really going to be making any impact. So tell me what you think. I was kind of curious. The results are in. What do you think? Are you noticing any difference in your crime in your area where you're at, the state that you're at? Let me know in the comments. You enjoy yourself, fellow Cannabisians. I'll see you later. On Kick, Rumble, and YouTube. Probably not Twitch after long.